We're talking about Ryan's future fishing career. He's leaving music behind. He's retiring. He's retiring from music to become a pro fisherman.
Pro fisherman, from bass to bass, buddy.
What's your
dude?
What's your pro fisher name?
I mean, I don't have a pro fisher name. I don't have one. I was trying to think of something funny, but I just can't.
Bassman?
Dude, I'm just not an improv guy. You know that about me.
Yeah, you are.
Yes, and carp master.
Carp master.
Dude, I was at the canal yesterday, and it was hot as fuck. And as soon as I get up, this homeless guy in a wheelchair comes up to me, and I'd never seen this guy before, and he's missing like half his teeth, and he's missing like half his legs too. He only has one leg. And he and no shoes on.
He's missing half his legs, which is one leg.
He rolls up to me and he's got no shoes on. It's hot as fuck.
Yeah.
And I was just about to get started, but you don't last like you have to bring a bunch of water. And he just goes, I need water. And you know me, I'm on my my Good Sam's shit right now. I've been on my Good Sam tip.
You've been on your Good Sam's tip.
Yeah,
That's one thing about you.
I've been on my Good Sam tip, and so he's like, "Can I have water?" And I was like, "Do you have something to put it in? Because I'm
not letting you drink out of my water bottle right now."
And he goes, "Yeah," and he showed me his water bottle, and I hand him my new Katastro water bottle. Do you have it? Show it to the cam so they can see. Homie, I finally fucking get it. I've been waiting for it for like months. The guy opens it up and just chugs the entire thing of my water. And
wait, he touched lip?
Dude, slobbering on it.
He slobbed on your rim?
Yeah.
On
my water knob.
Of the new Katastro water bottle?
Dude.
He slobbed all over that rim?
He put his mouth, this guy, he definitely at the very least has gingivitis. And he put his mouth he put his mouth all over it. And I was like, oh. And he drank my entire water. And I just gotten there to go fishing. It's like, you can't fish in 110 degrees.
Dude, I would have let him die of thirst.
I should have, dude. I regretted it. That's that's where being a good Sam fucking stabs you in the back. Because now I'm out there and I have no fucking water and I start getting all dizzy and weird. And I'm like, fuck, I gave it to that guy and he's put gingivitis in my cup.
Dude, that's...
I fucking regretted it.
He dropped Gingy in your cup.
He gingied me on there. I was like, I told Ma and I was like, yeah, he did that. She's like, so you just gave him the water bottle, right? I was like, no, it's sterilizing in my car right now. I'm just leaving it in my car for like 3 days at 128 degrees inside of it.
This is where Ryan finds out he's not meant to be a good person.
I'm gonna bleach it.
You're not meant to be a good Sam.
I know, dude.
You cross lines. Like, you're trying to be too good to him. You're trying to be too much of a good Sam.
He's no Murray. No Murray. I met one homeless guy. Maybe that's the only homeless guy for me. You know, that's what I need to realize is that
you're not every homeless guy you meet on the canal is not going to be some epic story of you guys saving a dog together. And I don't get that through your head.
You know, okay. If I would maybe I'm a one man kind of guy. You know, maybe I'm a one homeless man kind of guy. And
like you can't have more, like no new friends?
No new friends. Like maybe it's just like, I've had enough. No new friends, it's like, I tried it once and it worked out really well. I got to go see his homeless camp, which was fucking exciting.
Yeah, you had such an
it was so good.
You had such an impressive experience with your first homeless friend. That
dude, amazing stories.
Now it's going to be hard for all these other homeless people to live up to that guy's standards.
Yeah, this guy was all take. I'll tell you that. It kind of made me feel a certain way, and then I'm out there, I'm feeling dizzy, and I'm like, it's too hot.
You got the gingy spins.
I'm gonna fall out, and this guy, he's already seated. What does he have to worry about? He can't fall. He can't really. You could try. All right. So let's do. We are here at the Kamp podcast.
Welcome to the Kamp podcast. We're back. Your boys are back. We're back in town. We had to leave Phoenix. We had to leave the desert behind last weekend because our boy Duddy B from Dirty Heads called us a couple weeks ago and was like, hey, do you guys want to fly out to Red Rocks and join the stage with us to play Good Time?
Yeah.
So what did we do?
We said, let's think about it. Nope, we're there.
And where did we fly to?
Well, he first we had to go out to California first to do a little rehearsal with the Dirty Heads.
Let's start there.
Secret mission, yeah. So we find out that they actually want us to rehearse. And we're like, okay. And then
Because they don't trust us. They're like, these guys probably fucking suck at playing the song.
Like, we've never had to play with them on stage before. Maybe they were just nervous about me.
I think it was our trial run to see if they should even allow us to join the stage with them.
I think we blew them away when we were there.
We absolutely.
Remember I said that when we left?
What'd you say?
All right, so we go to Huntington. Or when we walked out, Stravers, you looked at me and you go, how do you think you did in there? I said, I think I blew him away.
Yeah.
Like we just
I set you up for that.
Yeah, it was perfect.
I set you up for that. I like throwing you an alley-oop once in a while.
Yeah, no, that was a good one. It was easy. It was nice.
We went to Dirty Heads practice space in Huntington Beach. The weather was nice too.
Yeah, it was nice. We drove a little bit late at night. Like we got in at like midnight the night before.
Yep.
Stayed at a weird hotel.
Also, on the way up to this Dirty Heads practice in California, I feel like I really had a fun car ride with you and Tanner because I feel like we just had time to chat and bullshit as friends for like 5 hours, and I remember us talking about a lot of stories from the past. A lot of like funny things that happened on tour, mainly like funny things Andy did. It
was kind of like the highlight reel of funny stories that like so much shit I don't remember.
I know, because we started each person would start bringing up an old story and it'd make us remember about other stuff.
Well, really, like everything we've done since Andy passed away, like we're flying, so we're not all sitting and like just talking for like 8 hours, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it probably was like one of the first long drives that we've done. But yeah, we get in at like midnight and then get up and go to their studio at like 10:30 or something, 11. And then we start driving back home immediately at like noon. It was a long day.
Well, we got there, practiced with them literally for 2 hours, and they were like, all right, guys, see you. We're going to drive back to Phoenix. So they all started laughing.
Yeah. We're going to start this drive right at rush hour and go all the way home.
Yeah.
But it was fun. It was really cool to see all of them. And it's fucking crazy they gave us that opportunity. So let's talk about being back at
The Rocks?
Yeah, The Rocks.
Are you talking about The Rocks?
The night before we left, I just kept saying like, so what are you guys going to wear to The Rocks? And nobody acknowledged it. So I just kept saying The Rocks in certain situations.
The whole trip, we were all just saying The Rocks.
Dude, we were at this bar and Maddie from Dirty Heads was like, are you talking about The Rocks? And I was like, The Rocks? And I thought you guys had told him about how I kept calling it The Rocks, but he just said it. And I was like, kind of like, it probably seemed like I was fucking with him.
Wait, did he say duh?
He's like, The Rocks at The Rocks. And I was like,
okay.
It was a the and a duh where they were very similar.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, we fly out, all of us, to Denver International Airport. We had to be at the airport at like 4:30 in the morning. Thank you, Gonzo.
Well, Well, me, you, and Tanner met at Sky Harbor at 5:30 in the morning, and I get through security. I get to the gate, and who do I see sitting at the bar right at 6 a.m. right when they start serving ice cold ones? Who do I see?
Who was it?
It was
wild
Ryan.
Guess, me.
It was Ryan Carp Master Weddle.
What was I watching on TV? Do you remember?
You were watching bass fishing. You were, huh?
I was sitting at it was the only bar in the area. I sat down. I ordered like a light brew, you know?
It was light.
It was a light brew. And I looked up and it's just, they've got a fishing competition on. I was like, this is so funny because I see you guys turn the corner.
Yeah,
and you're both just going to watch me drinking a beer at 6 a.m. watching this.
That was awesome. So yeah, and then actually, your crazy ass, we fly to Denver. Right when we get off the plane, we get to the hotel, we put our bags in the hotel, and Ryan grabs his huge duffel bag, which Ryan flew with his own huge duffel bag of fishing gear. And you're like, oh, I'm going fishing. So you guys I thought you were kidding. And I was like, oh my God, he really is going fishing.
Yeah.
I love that. That's such great dedication.
Dude,
and it's kind of dope too, because like it is good exercise and you're getting sunlight. So it's good to do that like right when you land.
Dude,
I went straight to the gym in the hotel.
Yeah,
I've noticed
I slept 3 hours the night before. You know, I stayed up way too late, and then I had to wake up at 3:30 because I realized I had to drive all the way to our recording studio to pick my shit up before I even could go to the airport.
So you went out fishing. Me and
fishing.
Tanner and Gonzo, Lorenzo, we all went with and Christian Bradmeyer. Shout out Christian. We all went to Dave. Dave from Dirty Heads was doing an art signing for a bunch of his art at this bar downtown, and we got invited. So we're like, yeah, sure, we'll go. And we get a table at this bar, And there are literally hundreds of Dirty Heads fans, like in a huge line wrapped around the building, that are waiting to get in to meet Dave. And as soon as people start coming in and doing the meet and greet with him, tons of people are wearing Katastro shirts. I mean, it literally turned into something that felt like a meet and greet that me and Tanner were doing. Like so many fans knew who we were, and either were rocking Katastro stuff or just coming up to us and just wanted to say hi, and were asking like, are you guys doing something tomorrow night? Like, why are you guys here? And I don't know. It was just, dude, it was kind of cool because me and you spoke about this yesterday, but like since we haven't been touring, it's been so hard to gauge how many people are out there that are still fans of the band or that listen to us, because we're so just in our bubble, man. It's like
all we have to see is like Instagram posts, and like that's such a horrible way to like judge how well something is going.
Yeah, or like it's I guess, and when I say it was cool to see that, it's not because I'm like, oh, that's so sick, people are recognizing me and Tanner or whatever. It was like, it was cool to see just this different lens of like, oh, there are a lot of people excited about hearing the new album. You know what I mean? And it's been so hard to know. Like,
you guys kept texting me to like come by, and I'd slept 3 hours.
Yeah.
I'd just like walked like 5 miles, and I was so dead tired, and I was a little hungover from like the day before.
I enjoyed telling the fans, the couple people that asked where you were, I really enjoyed saying he's fishing.
Yeah. Well, what did I tell you to say?
Oh, wait, no, this is actually really funny. I texted you while we're at the bar. Tons of people are coming up to us, and I'm like, yo, this is like turning into a Katastro meet and greet. When are you coming? And you texted us back. You said, sorry, guys, I don't think I'm going to make it. Please tell the fans that I hate them and that I don't feel... What'd you say?
I said, sorry, guys, I'm dead tired right now. I don't think I'm going to make it over there right away. Can you please tell the fans that it's just because I hate them and not because I'm tired and I went fishing?
Yeah. But yeah, dude, it was cool. It was cool to see like familiar faces. Got to see Acid Dad.
Oh,
we saw Acid Dad at the Rocks, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Acid Dad is a classic from Kamp podcast. So if you don't know who he is, go back. We had him on, and he's fucking amazing, dude. I love his whole family. That's what my favorite parts. That was one of the harder things to kind of accept when like Andy did pass away, was like all these people that we become really close with and like that we're friends with, or people that we know we just always see at shows. Like you kind of take it for granted, and you realize I had a moment where I realized I was like, dude, I might not ever see these people again. And like that hurt me more, like just as much as like losing everything else was like losing these people. But obviously time goes on. We haven't lost them. We're all homies still. Yeah, but it's dude, it's that scary thing of like they become so close to us, and you know, some of them we've stayed at their house, and some of them have fed us, and it's like everybody's such a huge part of our band and our story. So, bro,
this hit me so hard. After we played on stage with Dirty Heads, we walked into the crowd for a little bit, right? And that's when Acid Dad and his family came up. And his son, who's really young, like he's like 8 or
Dane.
9. How old do you think he is? Like 8 or 9 years old, maybe.
Yeah,
he's pretty young. And the moment I walked up with you guys, the moment he saw me, he like turned around and he was with his dad, and he just started crying. And they were like, "You're his favorite drummer," and I just know that kid so well because he was always in the front row at the Pueblo shows.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. He was front row at Camp Fest. He's like grown up being at Katastro shows. And so like his dad was telling me, he's like, yeah, man, sometimes I'll go into his room and he'll be crying just listening to Katastro. He's like, he loves Andy, bro. Like, you're his favorite drummer. He started playing the drums because of you.
That's cool.
And like this kid came up to me and he was crying and giving me a hug. And I was just like, dude, like tears started coming down my eyes because I was like, this is crazy, man. Like, I don't know. It was so cool. Like that family. Shout out, dude.
Lizzie too. Yeah, they're all like,
I like you guys are such kind people, and I feel like they're one of those families that really resemble, or they like represent a lot of our fans, and like how a lot of our fans treat us, and have like, I feel like a really cool thing about our band is that I think in a lot of ways we've been able to shatter this barrier between bands and their fans.
Yeah,
and like we have that really tight.
They told me a funny story that goes with that. It was I forget the artist that they were at, but they went and saw like this massive artist. Maybe it was like, I'm just gonna say Post Malone or somebody. And they brought Dane with them, And once they were playing, or when they were done, Dane like looked at him and was like, okay, so we get to go backstage now? And they're like, no, we can't. We can't do that. You can only. He's like, but why can't we just go back and meet them and talk to them? Because they're he thinks that they're friends with everybody because every time we see them, we give them hugs and they come backstage.
Dude,
and
that's
like,
so cool.
So yeah,
I love
it. It was pretty cool. She was laughing about it. I was like, that's so funny. But yeah, dude, I love that family so much. But there's so many people. There's so many people that were there that I didn't even get the opportunity to see. But it's just people were flying out because they heard there was a chance that we might be there. And that's pretty fucking crazy.
Dude, we really did take it for granted over the years. Like you said, like it was always this known thing. Well, we're going to be back here in 3 months, 4 months.
Yeah.
It's like, we'll see them again. And then the touring stops with everything, losing Andy. And then you're like, oh, I haven't seen these people. I didn't even realize how much I now care about these people or care about seeing these people. And I don't know. You
like realize how much a part of your life that they've been. It's not just like, they're here for the band and stuff, but it's like I miss seeing, even like I don't know, there's so many people who've just gotten so close,
bro. Over the years too, you were always really good at like staying in contact with certain fans in different cities. I feel like you were one of the first ones in the band to like really start grabbing people's numbers and being like, oh, like I'm just gonna go get a beer with them before the show.
Yeah.
And like I don't know, that stuff really does like it shows people what the band is about, added up over a long period of time,
I think I have a problem with like people helping me and doing things for me. And I think when we were doing the band thing, it was always just like people were always doing stuff for us because like we couldn't afford a place to stay. And so it's like, I've always really, when somebody does like go out of their way for me in whatever way, like it means a lot. And then I kind of want to make sure that they understand that like we appreciate that. And then, over time, it's like these people become like extended. It's like hanging out with like your uncle. You know what I mean? It's like that's exactly how it feels. It's like, oh, I'm going to Denver. I see him like once a year.
Your uncle, you only see once or twice.
Yeah, you're like, hey, dude, let's grab a beer. Let's get together and like,
dude. So there's some of those fans I see for sure more than some people in my family.
Oh, absolutely. Dude,
you know what I mean?
I've seen fucking Acid Dad more than I've seen my actual dad this year. Like, I don't
have to start calling him dad.
Yeah, just dad?
Yeah, you just have to start calling him dad.
I'm going to have to start calling Acid Dad?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I see them. I mean, that would be like, we probably would hang out and talk to them more than like we get to see, or especially me, my family lives out of state. So it's like, I don't get to see them as much as I'm seeing like everyone else.
Also, I think it's worth noting that Colorado are the coolest fans. Like, sorry to the rest of the country, but I feel like there's something really special about Colorado people. They're so nice.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just because you guys have Red Rocks too, and like just a lot of. I mean,
no, dude, because even when we were playing like those little shitholes out there, I forget the names, but bro, they would go
tour,
off. Yeah,
bro, the first tour that we ever did. There's a video of this. It's on our YouTube. But the first time we ever went out on tour and went out of Arizona, we played in Denver at the Marquee Theater with Tomorrow's Bad Seeds.
Mm-hmm.
There was probably, I think, 15 people that drove from Durango to come see us play. And I remember all of us were like, what the hell? Like, we're so far from home right now, and these people know the words to the songs. Like, we didn't even know anyone out here knew who we were. I remember us being blown away by that, and us feeling like the way we felt from that was equivalent to how we would now feel playing at like a huge like marquee show or something.
Right.
It was like such a big deal for us. It was like
Denver very quickly became our, second hometown. And then the whole kind of section there where it's like Denver, Salt Lake City, and New Mexico all did really well for us. Like we always had a great time in like Albuquerque. We always had like friends that were like really close.
Albuquerque was one of the first cities too that started like really showing us love, where we'd be like, oh, we could go there and not lose money.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it was like we were planning on booking a headlining tour through there, and it was going to be our last time at the small venue there, and they told us that they were moving us up to like the big room at Sunshine, and I just remember being like, fuck, it's like finally happening, like, and we never got to do it.
Yeah.
So, but Albuquerque, I mean, we have tons of like friends out there.
Funny stories from Albuquerque too. I feel like do you remember always playing the launch pad and then like going out hotel? After night? Well, I just remember playing. Yes, I remember staying at the hotel, But what I remember about playing the Launchpad every time we played there was like you'd play there like before sound check and before the show, it'd be like a ghost town downtown. We'd play the show and we'd walk out of the venue at night and it would be like a meth head, just like insane party, like tons of people, just crazy people everywhere.
It's crazy watching towns change too, because like you see it in your hometowns, but you never like we see it all over the country and going like Albuquerque used to be kind of wild. And then the last time we were out there, it was all clubs and it felt like Mill Ave on Tempe. And I was just like, what the fuck is happening out here? But it's kind of cool to see other, I don't know if it's cool or good or bad, but it's like, it's interesting seeing other towns when change and when it like starts going. But
like Boise,
dude, we would always say Boise. Yeah.
Boise's crazy.
In a couple weeks. We always would stay at this one hotel. I forget what it's called, like something Azul.
Dude, that hotel sucks.
It was such a piece of shit. Outside doors, if you know what I mean. That's the kind of hotel it is. Yeah, you don't walk inside to get to your room. It's all outside.
Yeah.
But one time we accidentally found their like bomb shelter area. Do you remember that?
No.
It was me. Maybe it was me and Andy and Tanner and some other people. And we were like fucked up. And we got in this elevator. We found this weird elevator in the middle, like in an area where it wasn't around. And we pressed it and we went into their bomb shelter. And it was like for like in case of nuclear attack. And we're just walking around in the middle of the night.
This was at the New Mexico one?
That was in New Mexico. There was another one that
Corpus
we did
Christi, the ghost tour?
Christi. That was
Corpus creepy.
Dude.
There's so many things that have happened on tour that I just forgot existed that are just incredible stories.
Corpus Christi is the scariest place I've ever been in my entire life. It's fucking terrifying, dude. One time I went and the entire, like I saw 5 people walk around. There's like nobody out and every single one of those 5 people had no eyes.
Yeah.
Like I'm not even joking. Like they were it was all white.
Dude, I remember one time all of us checked into the Corpus hotel after sound check. And I remember we got one room because we could only afford one room at the time. And all of the rooms next to our room on like the 9th floor or something, all of the rooms, the doors were just open.
Yeah.
So each of us just went and grabbed our own room and did not pay for them and stayed in that room for the whole night. Next day, no one ever said anything and we left.
Everybody was like, this place
weird.
Is haunted. This place is haunted. They always tell us that. And we would always stay at the same one because we knew it was haunted. And we'd all get real fucked up and we'd crawl around the hotel at like 3 a.m. And like we accidentally got into their...
ask each other the next morning if we saw ghosts.
Yeah, we all... I remember one time we went in their service elevator because they probably had like one person working this it was huge, giant, like...
It's a huge hotel.
Huge hotel.
Yeah.
And you could tell it probably used to be fucking beautiful.
Well, apparently a bunch of people have jumped from the top into the courtyard.
Yeah, they had to pull all the balconies because so many people were killing themselves there. Not surprised. We got into
that's how you feel when you visit that city.
You're like, where's a window? Where's the weak window? That's what I'm looking for every time I'm there. There's a service elevator, and we all went down, and it dropped us into this middle of this ballroom that was just like there was nothing there. It was the scariest. It was so scary because when everybody's all gassing each other up like this is going to be scary, like you kind of get ready to be scared. And I just remember ending up in the middle of this completely dark, empty, giant ballroom, and we're just standing in the middle of it. And I'm just like, bro, fuck this. When we went in the kitchen, it was like not the kitchen they used. It was just this old kitchen that just got
I didn't
left.
do that with you guys. I remember you coming back to the room talking about it, but I didn't take the tour with you guys.
It was fun. See, those are the fun parts of tour where you don't like think about it, but just staying at like shitty hotels with your friends and you're just fucking around in weird towns.
Yeah. Do you remember when we stayed in that hotel in San Francisco, that hooker infested motel with my dad?
Yeah, your dad's like, oh, I know a spot. Let's go. No, just no, your dad bought us a hotel room, and that's probably the absolute cheapest.
He's not even here to defend himself.
I know.
That's
he would
funny.
like it.
Yeah.
He probably bought us just whatever was the absolute cheapest because it's San Francisco.
I just remember him snoring all night and constantly getting up to smoke cigarettes and waking all of us up all night.
What I remember from that one was every like 2 hours, a cop would drive by and he'd go whoop, and then you just hear 20 doors slam. So like the cop would be like, hey, there's a cop here, and all the hookers would just slam their doors shut. But after that, it's open and they're sitting on their beds and they're just like smoking cigarettes inside, like waiting for people.
It really is crazy the different kinds of people and environments you see touring.
Yeah, and cultures, and just like I remember there's times where we would be in like Kansas and we walk into a gas station and everybody just turns their head and looks at us like, what the fuck are you kids doing in here? Like,
Yeah.
you don't belong here. I remember one time we walked into an Elks Lodge to try to get a drink because we didn't know what they were. And we were in like Texas and they all like, it was like in the movies where everybody
Everyone
at this
just
cowboy
looks
bar just swivels over and looks at you and you're just like,
Out of place.
yeah, you don't know what to do. So much good time. I don't know how we got so off track,
I
but
don't
we
know.
should probably talk about Red Rocks a little more.
I mean, yeah, the Red Rock show was epic, dude. Dirty Heads, very, very kind of them to think of us and bring us out for the show. And, you know, I think what's crazy is that for me, right before we went on, I had this thought. I was like, this is so wild that like Andy would be tripping to see this because he's looked up to Jared for so long. And for them to bring us out during their headlining set, that's just kind of crazy. I mean, I don't think we ever thought that something like that would happen for the band.
Yeah, it was so cool. It's always like heavier being there because it was the place we played our last show. And I didn't think I was feeling like any stress. And then after I walked off stage, I remember being like, dude, I feel like I'm gonna have like a panic attack. And I couldn't understand why, but I think it was just, it is heavy being there and having that be the last place. But it's also like that much more special to us. And Dirty Heads put our Katastro like lights on the rocks, and that like made me like stop for a second, just be like, holy shit, this might be the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. Was our name big on those mountain, you know?
Yeah, bro. I don't know. It's something weird. Like, I think in a way it's like hard to process stuff like that happening because on one hand, it's like, oh, this is so dope. And then on the other hand, I almost feel like, well, this is happening right now because Andy died in a car accident. So it's like this really bizarre mix of emotions where you like want to feel happy about it, but you also
remember why you're there.
You also remember why you're there, and there is a part of me, I hate even saying this because I know it's not why they did it, and like Dirty Heads are just good friends and they care about us and they loved Andy and like they're like, yo, let's do this will be sick. But there's a part of me that really does not want, I don't want people to feel sorry for me, and I don't want people to feel sorry for us anymore.
Yeah.
Because it felt all the love that came in, like, I mean, we've talked about it before on the podcast, but like all the love that came in when he passed was so, I think, necessary for us to heal, and like it was helpful.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I want people to know that we are doing better, and like that, I don't know. How do you feel about that? I mean, I don't want people to feel like.
Yeah, that's not the goal. I don't want people to feel bad. And like I said, I don't like when people do things for me, you know? So it's like, it's weird. It was weird even just getting used to that, people like offering things and then taking them up on that. Like, that's not what I would ever do before. But, yeah, I don't know. It was a beautiful opportunity, a beautiful moment that we got to share.
Sorry, I wasn't saying that Dirty Heads did that to like pity us.
No, I know.
I wasn't saying that. I was just saying it comes with that mix of emotions. Like,
it was crazy looking up and seeing how many fans actually knew our song and knew us. And it was also really, like, what was special to me also was that they always bring people out. They'll bring out like a special guest, but it's usually somebody that featured on one of their songs. I don't think they've ever brought out somebody to play one of that artist's songs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it was cool.
So they like really put the spotlight on us.
Yeah, and people loved it. And it was also just fun to all hang out. Like, you know, the night before I went out to like one with one of the dudes in Dirty Heads and Christian, their old manager, and now he's on our team as well. But we just have so much history with them. It's just, it was so much fun hanging out and just being around.
I was mainly feeling that way like on the flight home. Like, it's just this weird feeling of like, oh man, every time I play Red Rocks, I think there's this, I hate to say that, I feel like it's negative, but like there's this voice that's like, oh, that's the last time you're going to play there. I hope you really enjoyed it and you were present, you know?
Yeah.
But it's like, when the reality is like, who knows? I could play there 20 more times. Katastro could play there a bunch more times somehow. Like, who knows what's going to happen in the future? But like, Maddie has always been my favorite drummer in the scene by far, like out of anyone.
He's so good.
He's so sick, and he's become a good friend of mine. And to play his kit and play with Dirty Heads with John next to me, and you know, Sean and Dave, it's just like, it was so fun, dude.
Yeah, it was really cool. And our song was like 2.5 minutes, so we flew out. Well, we went on stage and then immediately walked off, and I was like, "Whoa, what the fuck?"
Also,
happened?
right before we go on stage, this is funny. Right before we were about to go on stage to play in front of 10,000 people, and we had flown there just to play for 2 minutes. I'm sitting side stage, and like, we go on in one song. Like, they're playing the last song. I'm like, where the fuck is Ryan and Tanner? And right when I have that thought, you walk up, you're ready, you have your bass, and I was like, where the fuck is Tanner? And you call him, and he's at the top of the amphitheater with some friends.
Yeah.
And he's like, what? We're already playing? And so he runs down the amphitheater, and he shows up all stressed out with his in-ears. He's like, what's going on?
Dude, it did go by fast, because like when they first started, I was like looking at the thing. I heard him play like 2 songs, and I was like, I'm going to go check it. And I looked, and I was like, oh, we're like, 5 songs. But they were going, where next thing I knew, I was like, oh shit, wait, there's only 3 more songs, which means I need to get my shit right now.
To
otherwise,
his defense, I did not know it was coming that fast either. It was like they were flying through the set.
But he straight up almost missed it.
But he straight up almost missed it, and that would have just been so funny if like he spent all this time flying out there and just aren't paying attention and missed the set.
And he was at the top, so if you've been there,
he said he was literally running down the stairs.
It's hard to run down those stairs. It's really steep, and they're really tall stairs.
Yeah.
So I just imagine him running and then being like, I need to get backstage and play. Oh, it's funny. But yeah, no, it was a really good time, man. It's just always fun when the 3 of us get to go do something, and it's not necessarily like obviously that was a Katastro thing, but it's like, it's cooler when
was a vacation.
Yeah, it's like a vacation. We were there just to hang out.
I told Gonzo too, I was like, I needed that to just chill with you guys, because I think we all need that as a band for some morale.
Yeah.
Like every once in a while, it's nice to just go do something where there's no like
we weren't talking
stakes.
business.
It's not like we're talking about, all that stuff. It was just, I had a really good time. It was nice.
Yeah, me too, man.
It was super fun. And, to see all the fans that are hyped to hear the new stuff, that was sick.
Yeah, dude, it's always great being able to see those people. And like, my favorite parts of touring is usually like after the show, backstage, hanging out with everybody. So being able to hang out with Dirty Heads and stuff again, like that is a part that I miss. Like I miss Iration, like just hanging out, playing dice at the end of the night, and like,
yeah, dude,
just bullshitting. And so
we're so lucky to have that camaraderie with so many people, because like, even though we haven't been touring the last couple of years, like when we see all of our friends that we've spent years with on the road,
the moment
you could go years without seeing them, and the moment we see all those guys, it's like brothers are back together. It's like we're taking off from the last. It's never like it
feels
really
like
does.
You're back on tour with them.
It really creates a bond, dude. When you tour with people, you create this kind of unbreakable bond as like brothers with people, and I feel lucky we get to experience that on like a bigger scale, because a lot of people don't get that, and it's the coolest part about music.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. It was a great time. Just thankful for Dirty Heads, and it was cool to hang out with the boys and drink some beers. I smoked a couple of doinks that night. Who cares?
The boys at the Rocks. Yeah, man. Shout out Dirty Heads, and shout out to all Dirty Heads fans for being so kind to us and bringing us in. And I hope everyone's pumped for the new album, and maybe we'll be back at the Rocks. Who knows?
Yeah. We'll see you at the Rocks.
See you there. Peace.